best teams. Like they're good, like they won their division, but they're just not like a top team to me.
They're like the old Senators.
They end up being a top team because they're just the best team in their division, kind of thing.
Well,
almost like the Padres have been over
happens.
the past couple of seasons.
And that happens, and it is raining out, isn't it?
It is pouring out there.
You can't hear it maybe at home.
It is
well, maybe you
pouring.
can because if you're probably in the viewing area, it's raining.
I may have your video if you want it.
You have the video?
I just might, yeah.
Matt is awesome. If we can get the video, just go to it. We don't even need to see our
There
mugs.
may be a technical difficulty as I come to it, but give me 1 second here.
All right, we will.
All right.
So this is the crash. Ed Companion over here in the 89. He'll be in the blue car in front. And what's the name of the guy that dumps you? 29, right?
29, Gary Mullen. I don't really
Do you have
know.
any ill will towards Gary Mullen, or is this sort of an overdeal?
I haven't talked to him. He hasn't really tried to get a hold of me. I'm sure I'll talk to him this week and just see what happened.
At some point. Because it's sort of a brethren in the pits. You're all sort of either friends or you're enemies.
It's a big family community.
Give me a minute. Keep talking.
People have been calling me all week, drivers, pit crew members, messaging me, emailing me, just make sure I'm okay and what they can do. I mean, it's been hard. I've been out of racing for 4 years and wanted to get back so bad, and I've had people offering me their race cars, and that's what happened with this deal. Is the guy said, you know, I have this race car, I want you to drive for me.
Yep.
And I feel terrible that the car is destroyed. I mean, there's not a thing under the car that is usable, but I just want to thank him, Jim Piche, for giving me the opportunity to come back. And I mean, we were running good. We were running second place. We were having a great race. And it's unfortunately that we struggled for 4 weeks, got it going, and then this happened and ended our season.
Yes, that is awful. That would have been a good segue. But we'll have to come up with something else. Should we go on to something else? Let's talk about NASCAR.
We can
Let's
talk about
NASCAR.
Tony Stewart dumping Denny Hamlin the other night, 14 laps into the race.
Let me tell you what. Things at Team Piche Motorsports, because these guys are part of it, are okay. Because Tony Stewart apologized today.
Joe Gibbs last I knew. But
well,
anyway.
whatever. They're part of my team. And things are okay. Tony Stewart said he thinks that Denny Hamlin is a little brother. He says they have a lot to learn about team racing together, and that he hopes they can put this behind him and move forward. Again, this sounds like the Tony Stewart that puts on his press face.
Exactly.
But at the same point,
I'm not letting him off the hook anymore.
It's
He
okay.
did it.
You know
He
what?
dumped him.
Denny Hamlin needs to move out of Tony Stewart's way.
No, I disagree. Denny Hamlin is coming. He's awesome. He's going to be good. He's going to be real good. Tony Stewart, you need to stop thinking that you own the track out there. And Denny Hamlin was leading that race. You have to follow him. You don't get into him in a corner and put him in the wall.
Well, especially if he's your teammate, Ed.
I mean,
exactly.
Tony Stewart's always been one of my personal favorites. I mean, he's one of the best short track racers in the country, in the world.
Bar none.
And when he's not racing a NASCAR race, he's finding a race to be in. Somebody will give him a car. He'll go race at any Saturday night track.
I saw him playing with Hot Wheels at Toys R Us.
And, I mean, he is an amazing racer, but he's not a team racer. There's no team for Tony Stewart. He came up on Denny Hamlin. Denny was a little bit slower, and the fact is Tony Stewart at Daytona drove right through him, destroyed both their cars.
Wrecked two cars.
The only reason why Tony got wrecked was Denny came back up into him. I mean, if Tony would have continued the race, NASCAR wouldn't have done anything. Nobody would have done anything. And he still would have shot his mouth off about his teammate. I mean, Tony's sitting here saying, Denny Hamlin doesn't care about his 43 competitors. He doesn't care about his team. He slowed up, and that's the whole reason why they destroyed each other, which isn't true. There's a whole 2 other grooves or more at Daytona. Go around if you're so fast.
I have a hard time voting against Tony, but seeing the facts, one has to wonder why he didn't move out of the way. And it's a shame that they took each other out, but I agree a little bit with what you say, which is rare when we agree.
Yes.
We've done it a couple times today, so we're throwing people off.
Wow.
Don't get used to it.
Because it's raining.
But, you know, Tony Stewart he's all about Tony Stewart. I mean, I've never seen him really hook up with a buddy and be like, let's go for the win.
I've tried to like him, and I can't do it.
But I respect that, because you know what? You're out there, but he should have been a little more considerate of his teammates.
I can't.
Even though you are all about you at the end.
Look at how good. I mean, Roush is awesome. And look at how well they work pretty well as a team. Look at the other night; everybody was helping everybody. And what happened the other night was teammates from different teams were helping other guys, and it was like two guys from one team were helping 2 guys from another team, and their other teammates were helping parts of another team. You know, it was like so many guys.
Well, that's part of the racing community that we talk about at Thunder Road.
Like, it was so many different teams and guys that had to help one another to get up front, and it was like they just kept interchanging because of the way things work at Daytona. And you see Jamie McMurray by literally a hair beats Kyle Busch.
It stinks that Fenway Racing finally gets.
Yeah, I don't like Fenway and Roush.
I've hated baseball almost all my life, and of course now, between watching the games all year with my father and my girlfriend's father, now I'm a Red Sox fan. I mean, I'm not a bandwagon fan. That's the only games that are on TV all the time. If you want to watch,
TBS covers
TBS
the Braves.
has got the Braves. The
I'm not gonna
Braves
let
are
them
always
WPAX
on.
covers the Mets.
what's
The
good about
Braves
Atlanta?
are nothing.
Exactly. I mean,
You got
if I want to
Mets.
see a Red Sox game, it's close, and I enjoy watching it.
$90 for a ticket, but yeah.
I've always hated baseball. I mean, they play too much. I can't stay interested if they play that much. I mean,
Yeah, it is a long, grueling, boring.
and that's why,
season.
like, I forget about the All-Star game because there's so many baseball games on every day.
Seriously,
I don't think to look for it
that's
because
probably like
they're on all the time.
only the second or third game that I've actually sat down and like kind of watched like most of the game and been like, wow,
with the Roush Fenway racing together, I don't understand why they got together. I mean,
either.
Doesn't make any
I guess Fenway want to tap into racing. I don't see why they
want
need
more like professional sports teams and clubs to own more of racing.
And there is the Canadians, I believe, are hooking up with some team,
They want the Yankees to like own a team too.
the Dodge,
I
Chip
don't really
Ganassi.
like
or
that.
something, right?
and Neverham Motorsports.
Right.
And the whole Fenway connection, I mean, Carl Edwards does a press conference from Fenway. He goes there with a car that they painted up all Fenway, all Red Sox, liquid
Yeah,
lumber liquidators
probably.
was all over the car, and
Yeah.
they're trying to ask Carl Edwards at the press conference, who wore this number jersey, who wore that number jersey, and he couldn't come up with it because
Right.
those guys just don't care enough about baseball.
Right.
I mean, I love racing all my life. I don't care about baseball.
There had to have
Clinton
been a guy
Boyer.
with
Clinton Boyer
there
the
had
other
to have
night.
been a guy in Roush Racing that liked the Red Sox. I would think. Why couldn't they have put that guy in the Red Sox car?
Yeah, there's so
was
many
my
people that
question.
like the Red Sox. The problem is, most of their sponsorship is set from the beginning of the year for what race they can be, what car. They can't alter that. They can't do anything like that. And Carl Edwards is basically kind of the generic face of NASCAR, which everybody likes him. And I mean,
He would never take out his teammate.
the crossover, I guess, is good for the sport, but I mean, it's not like two separate spectrums of the sports world. I mean, you can like racing and you can like football or you can like baseball. I mean, if you want to make a difference, have a curling league sponsor a race car. I mean, if you want people to move over, but the Fenway thing is kind of ridiculous. I actually went to look for a Roush Fenway shirt at Loudon. It looks like a Krispy Kreme logo.